Well, China is firing back at the Alberta Premier Jason Kenney, just days after Kenney criticized the People's Republic handling of COVID-19. The Chinese consulate in Calgary is responding with criticism of its own. Let's bring in Laura McQuillan. She's been looking at the story for us today. So let's begin here with really the words that have been exchanged between the Alberta Premier and the People's Republic.
This began with Jason Kenney calling out China, accusing it of covering up the origins of the coronavirus, of obfuscating international investigations and refusing to let others be involved in those, looking at the origins of the coronavirus. All of this coming from a virtual roundtable that he took part in back on Wednesday, telling business leaders and others from within Alberta and the United States about his concerns. And I want to show you some of his comments. In that he said, "I think the Chinese government played a significant role in the devastating public health and economic damage that the whole world is experiencing." And he went on to say we should not just forget this and walk past it. He said there must be some kind of a reckoning for China, that there must be some accountability. He suggested a reset in relations between Western countries and China as a result of that. And we have seen China firing back, as you mentioned, Michael, that firing back coming via the Consulate General in Calgary. Take a look at what they've said in response, saying that Jason Kenney should also be ready to accept a similar attack and reckoning of his handling of the outbreak in Alberta and his policy making ever since he took office. They went on to say if there's any comparison between what Kenney has done during the outbreak and with what Wuhan has, Wuhan of course being the epicenter of the outbreak in China, Kenney will not look smarter. Now, China went on to say that it wants a joint fight against the virus, that it doesn't want to poke holes at each other, but Kenney once again firing back with a tweet late last night. Take a look at this. He said that earlier this week he had welcomed some representatives from Taiwan, of course, a sensitive diplomatic spot for China, which claims the territory is still part of its country. He went on to say that its response had been a useful model for many countries battling COVID-19 and thanked Taiwan for sending supplies to Canada, such as masks. Now, all of that, well, really leaves us in China's court. Will it respond once again? But certainly a tit for tat developing there, Michael.
Yeah, and quite pointed words from the consulate in Calgary. But you know, Kenney's not the first one to voice concerns about the way China has handled the whole COVID-19 pandemic.
That's right. There has been a lot of criticism from around the world. International leaders such as Donald Trump hitting out at the way China has communicated with other countries, whether that is around the origins of the virus, whether that is around how it's shared information and data about human-to-human transmission, about the status of things in China. There have been a lot of concerns like that voiced, so Jason Kenney far from the first, but a real contrast to how the federal government here has been responding. It has not called out China in that way. It has not wanted to poke the bear. You know that the backdrop to this being Meng Wanzhou's arrest in Vancouver and the detention of Michael Spavor and Michael Kovrig, making it a very sensitive situation for the federal government here. Jason Kenney pretty much out of step with that, with what he's saying, and a real spat between him and China now.
Okay, Laura, we are watching. Thank you for that.